It's about 6:04 right now, we do have a quorum, we'll get started. Good evening, everyone, welcome, this is our first meeting with newly appointed committee, my name is Scott Farrell, the general manager of the Business Sanitation. And we're going to get started, the panel to begin with the roll call.
Yes. Jeff Arbor. Richard L. Schultz.
Here.
Dicky Fernandez.
Present.
Ellen Jones.
Here.
Dana Hauser. Michael Toe.
Here.
Rosemary Chora.
Here.
Brooke Natsky.
Here.
Shauna Badeka.
Here.
Carrie Switalski. And Craig Preston.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome. I don't see any members of the public, so no public comments. So we'll move on to item number one, which is the citizen advisory committee member discussion. So if you know the introduce yourself to your comments, so Michael, you want to talk?
Hello everyone, Michael Snow, previously a member of the CAC since 2022. Resident Costa Mesa since 2020. I currently serve as the district director for California State Assemblywoman Guy Peachy Morris, and spent many years as a government affairs leader for one of the largest health systems in California. Also worked in Congress for about a dozen years as deputy chief of staff, and yada 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 yada. God help me. But happy to be here in Costa Mesa, a wonderful city and a wonderful sanitary district and board. So grateful to be back here to support all of you and the work that you do in our community. So thank you.
So, Richard Schultz. I want to keep that red light needs to talk. So, Mr. Yeah. Richard Schultz, been a resident since 1984. I've been a licensed architect in California, 44 years. I retired about 3 years ago. On sanitation, I did work on a project in the county of Sacramento, which was recently completed. It was a water, so $1.3 billion sewage treatment, improving Ford County. Great, awesome. Well, welcome. Glad to have you here. We worked on a few other projects similar to that. Outstanding. Thank you. That's great.
Very Preston, Mesa. Well, been a resident since 2007. Recently retired, wanted to get involved and see what I could do to help out. I'm a climate activist, so I do a lot of nonprofit work, help the environment that way, but wanted to see more about how government functions and I can be part of it. So it's my first dipping my toe into government. Been coming to meetings for the last 4 or 5 months, and the board seemed to take mercy on me and make me a +1. So, yay!
Thank you.
My name is Roger Maskey. I was previously a CAC member just for a year. And I've been a resident of Costa Mesa since 2011. I recently retired from teaching at the Muller School of Orange County in Costa Mesa. And moved into helping run our family business. And we build adventure vans, also located in Costa Mesa. And I really enjoyed my time, and Craig could probably repeat the last time what you said. Yeah. Being involved in the little token and so
Ellen Jones. I've been a resident of Costa Mesa for about 12 years now, and the first time on the committee. And I'm interested in learning more. I've fairly become passionate with recycling, and I've also noticed, especially community members in my neighborhood, aren't really recycling much, so I think there's an element of the education that I'd like to help make that better for our community. Is something important.
Dicky Fernandez, CAC member since 2019. I serve as a construction manager for the Orange County Sanitation District. We got large public improvement projects. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rosemary. I also am a existing CAC member. I think this might be my 3rd term. I have about 25 years of experience in wastewater, drinking water, and solid waste utility services. So currently, some of my emphasis is in environmental compliance, regulatory compliance. And specifically when it comes to trash management. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Shauna Bedeka. I've been a Costa Mesa resident since 2013. Love it here. And very new to government work, but excited to be a part of it. I have a background in environmental science and oceanography. I work at the Spring of the Pacific in Long Beach. So environmental conservation and understanding just where our water flows is and how we're all touching it is really important to me.
All right, outstanding. Thank you very much. Well, okay, we'll move on to the second item. This is an action item. This is where you get to elect your chair and vice chair. So a little background about the responsibilities for the chair and vice chair. They both these positions are presiding officers of the CAC. The chair does have some responsibilities. The chair does meet with myself and the president Schaefer or the president of the board once a year. And we develop a work plan for the community to work on the year. We share that plan with the CC, get your blessing on it, or if you have any amendments, you're more happy to do that. Get your approval. We also send it to the board, get their blessings as well. They do have the authority to amend it if they want to. They've never done that in the past, but they can do that, so you know. But so we also share that board so they know what the CC is working on for the upcoming year. And then the chair will also do as needed, will report information regarding the CC and its activities to the board. That chair can submit that information in writing, the email, or the chair can come to a board meeting and do it verbally. The chair must also follow parliamentary procedures to effective meetings. And the chair must grant any members of the public the right to address the CDC. And granting permission to speak, the chair should request the speaker to state the name for the record, and the chair may limit the time for public comments and request that speakers avoid reiterate decisions presented. And when the chair is absent from the meeting, the vice chair will assume that role when the chair is away from the meeting. So with that, is there anyone who want to nominate someone to be chair? Yes.
I'd like to nominate Michael Powell. I mean, he served as the vice chair previously and has that experience. Make a good person for continuity purposes.
Second. Okay. Got that, Gina?
Yes.
All right, so Gina, how do you want to go? Just
All together is fine.
okay. So
Can I speak?
sure, one second, sure, absolutely.
I was nominated also, so thank you. I seen Michael operating some of these meetings before, but just impressed with his as a staff person for our assembly member. At this office many times and very appreciative for listening to you do well, sorry.
All right, all those in favor of yes, Barbara, yes.
I'm sorry, I said.
Okay. All in favor of electing Michael as chair of the CAC, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Abstentions? Yes, congratulations. And vice chair, any nomination for vice chair? Yes.
Craig Preston here, I nominate Rosemary Chora, vice chair. Glad that wait for a second.
I go a second. Okay, first second, okay. You want to comment?
Just for that little entry, first time I met you, but you have years of experience. I think Vicky probably also do a good job of that, so I nominate two, I nominate Vicky as well, but well, start with Rosemary and see take that.
Okay, all in favor of electing Rosemary Cora for vice chair? Say aye. Aye. Any nays? Abstentions? Pass, congratulations. Okay, I turn the floor to Mr. Chair, turning toast to the floor yours.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have, next item is our Citizens Advisory Committee orientation. You can provide us that presentation.
Yes, thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, so tonight, I'm gonna be giving you a lot of information, so at the end of tonight's meeting, you're gonna probably know more about CSP than probably 99% of the community. A lot of information, so we're gonna go over a little bit of the history of CSP. We'll talk about the governance, of course, the board of directors, a little bit about your role as a CAC. And then within the department the organization has 6 departments, but we're gonna just focus on really the bread and butter of the organization, that's the wastewater and solid waste department. We'll talk about the revenues, how we generate our revenues. I'll mention a little bit about our strategic plan on where we want to go in the next 5 years, highlight some of our awards, and then I'll talk about looking ahead, since projects, probably work on this upcoming year. And then I also want to focus on special districts. So, we are not part of the city of Costa Mesa. There's a lot of confusion out there that think we're a part of the city of Costa Mesa. We're actually older than the city of Costa Mesa, which I'm saying with history. We are a legal separate entity, so I want to share with you about not only about us, but the special district around California and around the country. And so what we're talking about today. Okay, so let's talk about our history. Okay. So the formation of the Santa Cruz really started about 80 years ago, believe it or not. It happened in the early 1940s, when the city of Newport Beach owned and operated a landfill off of 19th Street. So if you're going down 19th Street, you go to the very end, there's condominiums there. Below that is a landfill. Okay, and that landfill was reaching capacity. And the city of Newport Beach says only Newport Beach residents can use this landfill. If you're from Costa Mesa or anyone else, you cannot use this landfill. And so of course the residents of Costa Mesa were concerned, where are we gonna dump our trash? We need to find a place to dump our trash. And so they filed a petition with the Orange County Board of Supervisors and then Newport Beach to form a sanitary district under the provisions of the California Health and Safety Code. And so the Board of Supervisors granted that petition, and they appointed J.A. Woolley as the registered civil engineer, and he drafted the boundaries. And then 6 months after that petition was granted, the Board of Supervisors approved CMC boundaries, and they ordered a special elections to be held on February 1944, with the residents of Costa Mesa had 2 decisions to make. One, do they want to form a commission, or sorry, do they want to form a sanitary district? And if they do, who do they want to elect to govern that the agency? And so on February 8th, special election occurred, and as you see, 616 votes were cast in 1944. I just put a comparison with our last general elections. We had 97 votes cast in 2024, so our community has grown quite a bit in the past 8 years. But as you see, it did pass. It did pass to form the Costa Mesa Sanitary District. And on February 10th, 1944, the Board of Supervisors adopted the resolution formalizing CMSD, and you can actually find that resolution in on our website related edition. This is our oldest document that we have in our records. It's about 7 pages long, I just want to show the front page, but we do have that resolution. How many people have heard that name before? T-Wilco. Pretty common name, right? Everyone said, well, if he was the first mayor of Costa Mesa, you hear about T-Wilco Park and T-Wilco Middle School. Guess what? Before that, he was our first board president. He served on the board for 10 years. And so again, we were formed 9 years before the city. So Charles T-Wilco and some other members of the community were really instrumental of forming this district and became one of our first leaders. So the district was formed because of solid waste issues, but under the health and safety codes, it had the authority to go on this on the wastewater side. And you got to remember back in the 30s, 40s, there was no sewer collection systems. Like it says in this ad, it's a bunch of cesspool people just go in the bathroom wherever you want, alcohol. So there's a lot of health issues. But unfortunately, when the sanitary district was formed in 1944, there was a large event going around the world during that time. Does everyone know what that was? World War II, right? So all the resources were needed for the war efforts, like cast iron, ductile iron. So we couldn't really produce any sewer system. So after the war, so when the war ended, the district did receive federal grants. That grant was used to design and construct the first sewers, which was put in operation in 1954, and those sewers are still in operations today. So, in 1953, the city of Costa Mesa incorporated. 2 years later, the city and the district had a partnership that lasted nearly 50 years, and it was quite simple. The way it worked, that partnership was that the city agreed to provide the staffing and the equipment to maintain sewer systems and also manage the solid waste contract. In return, the city will allow the district's governing body to hold their meetings at City Hall. Basically, they give us some room to hold their meetings, but everything else was staffed by, basically, city staff. The district didn't have any staff at that time. So in 2004, there was a little bit of a falling out with the city. And the board decided to leave City Hall, bought this building on 6th West 19th Street, which is right on Meyer, 9th and Meyer, next to the BMP, you know what that is. And they also persuaded a couple of city staff members to come over to work and become district employees. And the district, that was the headquarters on 19th Street for the next 12 years. So the district also has some equipment, not a lot, but they were storing those equipment at the fairgrounds, and they needed a secured site. So I think it was 2008, they acquired some vacant property on Wilson Street, and eventually we constructed the yard, which was completed in 2010. It was the first constructed LEED Platinum building in Costa Mesa. LEED stands for Leadership by Energy Environmental Design. So it's an extremely sustainable building. So in other words, at the site, we have drought tolerant landscaping, natural lighting, natural ventilations. We have solar lighting, solar heating. The insulation inside was made out of recycled blue jeans. Pretty neat. So it was our first LEED Platinum building. And then in 2020, the board renamed the yard to the Robert Emers yard. Robert Emers, he wasn't an employee of the district, but he was definitely instrumental for the growth of the district. He served in several capacities as an engineer, as district manager, and a back engineer. But he was really responsible, I would say, for designing and constructing probably more than half of the sewer system. And he died unexpectedly in early 2020, and the board renamed renamed the yard after him. And what was really nice, a few years back, his two growing daughters were without the state. They were in Southern California. They gave me a call and said, hey, they wanted to visit the yard and see their dad's legacy. So that's what two daughters and their families, and 8 grandchildren at the yard back 3 years ago. It was really nice to see his legacy. That was really nice. So in 2017, we acquired the Hitchcrafter building. That building here we call it Hitchcrafter because it was a private business that installed hitches on trucks, towing equipment. Well, he wanted to retire, and so he got into a good time, and so he sold that property to us. Was great. So it allowed us to extend the building, or extend the yard, and allow us to really centralize all of our equipment in one location. Prior to that, we were at different locations, and by centralizing it, allowed us to respond to it as it sold a lot faster. A couple of years ago, we demolished that building, and that's what without it, and then we installed what's we call our supermarket trailer, which we're working right now. In 2015, we acquired this building. We moved into it after some tenant rooms. We moved into it in 2016, November 2016. Since then, we've made some significant improvements to the building. In 2018, we installed solar panels on the rooftop. A couple of years ago, you might notice the re-landscaping of the facilities. We repainted the building, rebranded the building with a new logo. So this is improvements at the here at our new headquarters. So you should all know about our board. Our board of directors, they are elected officials. They serve 4-year terms. So every 2 years we have an election. So every 2 years there's 2 or 3 board members that run for re-elections. They meet twice a month. The second Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the fourth Monday at 4:30 p.m. All our meetings are streamed live, and then recorded, and we upload those on our website. We were one of the first, I would say, one of the very first special districts in California to record our board meetings and put them on our website. We did it well before COVID, and so I think we were one of the leaders when it comes to transparency and having open meetings. I'm sure you all know our board of directors, but I'll talk a little bit about our board of directors, so, Mike Schaefer in the middle is for Division One. He's been on our board for 18 years. He was first elected to the board in 1993-94. He left the board, got the election bug back and got reelected in 2010. Been ever since. Vice President Uden in Division Three. He's was first elected in 2006, so this is to be on his 20th year as a board member. Our longest tenured board member is Art Perry in Division Four. He was first elected in 1994. He's been on board for 31 years. And then our newest board member is Director Wilshire from Division Two. She was elected in 2024. She's been on board for 2 years. My newest board member is Shine Wright from Division Five. She was appointed 10 months ago, who replaced our longtime board member Arlene Schaefer, who was on our board for 28 years, former mayor, 50 years public services. So she retired for more than 1 year public service. So these are just our divisions. So Division One again is President Schaefer. Division Two is Director Wilshire. Division Three is Vice President Uden. Division Four is Secretary Perry, and Division Five is Director Wright. Okay, so the CAC, the Citizen Advisory Committee, was first formed in 2017. It is at 11 members. You do meet every other month, so 6 times a year. And we do cut our meetings off at 7:30, so from 6 to 7:30. If we can't get it done by 7:30, we'll execute this. So we know you're volunteering your time, you value your time, so we don't want to spend all day, all night with you. We appreciate your time. So we ask you to be 6 times a year from 6 to 7:30, dealing with all kinds of issues related to the district. If you haven't done so, I highly recommend that you download the Citizen Advisory Committee Handbook. This is a great document that tells a little more about our departments. It talks a little about your roles, also about parliamentary procedures. It's a good document that I highly recommend that you read. You can find it on our website. You just go on the governance page, under policies. You see it at the bottom there. You just click on that, scroll down, and you can download the document right there. So the Citizen Advisory Committee, you act as an advisory capacity board. Right? You will make recommendations, suggestions to the board of directors. Now, they might not always agree with your recommendations. That's okay. That's what good governance is all about, right? Sometimes they don't agree with staff recommendations. But our job and the CAC job is to give the board all the information, the recommendations, and they will have that dialogue on the dais. They'll have that dialogue among each other. They'll ask questions. They may ask for more information, but in the end, they're the ultimate authority. Whatever decision they make, move on to the next issue. Okay, so what I'm saying is, if they don't agree with you, don't take it personally. It's just that's how governance works. Okay. As I mentioned this earlier, the chair, the CAC chair will meet with the president and the general manager to determine the work plan and send that to you later for approval. The topics will include obviously wastewater, solid waste, capital improvement projects, outreach programs, other solid waste programs, and wastewater programs, finance and new amendment policies. So you are expected to attend all your meetings. Unexcused absence that exceed 4 meetings per calendar year would establish basic dismissal. So please try to be here. Again, the board, and then you are required to attend at least 1 board meeting per calendar year. So that can be a study session or regular meeting, you need to attend one in-person meeting. All right. A little about the district. So we have 26 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee. We have 7 independent contractors, and those contractors serve as our district counsel for legal services. Mark Davis, who is the CPA, he's our treasurer. He basically does investments for us. He manages our investments. EC Environmental, they are the inspectors for our fog oil grease control program. This is a program that we have to have in place by state mandate. It's to ensure that restaurants are disposing grease properly and not pouring it down the drain. We do also have programs for residents, but it seems like restaurants are always the big violators, so we're trying, so they'll go out and inspect the restaurants to make sure they're using best standard practices. For our digital maps with GIS and our computerized maintenance management system, we contract that with Citrus City. And then with our T functions, it's Acorn. And then Rob Gamers, his firm, we still do this with this firm. We use this firm for construction inspections and also as an assistant engineer. Our annual budget is close to $18 million. Total population is over 118,000 people. And that is all the city of Costa Mesa, with portions of Newport Beach and unincorporated county. And this is just a map of our service area. So on the map on the left is the solid waste map. And then the map on the right is the wastewater. You can see in the pink there on the wastewater map, that's the Newport Beach areas. And then the lines, black and white lines, that's the unincorporated county. This is our org chart. Again, we have 6 departments. 2 of those departments are what we call administration, have administrative services, which handles HR and risk management. Then I have the district clerks department, and that part also handles our public outreach. And those individuals, team members who oversee those departments are here. Have Lonnie Minway, she's the district clerk public information officer. Diana Wick is the administrative service manager. John Gonzalez is our wastewater maintenance manager. And then Caitlin Tran, finance manager. Marissa Correa, our solid waste manager, and Mark Escar is the engineer. These individuals, so you'll probably see quite a lot during the year because they'll be doing presentations to you. All right, let's talk about the wastewater. So the wastewater, our wastewater department is heavily regulated by the state of California. It's regulated by the state of California through the State Water Resource Control Board, and the agency has 1 mile, at least 1 mile of sewer system to maintain. They have to follow this order that the state mandates that we all have to adopt and implement a sewer system management plan. And that's a plan that describes how CMSD is going to manage, operate, maintain, and replace a wastewater collection system. Now, the state's not going to come in and tell you specifically how to maintain or manage the system, but I would say that if we start experiencing, or they start experiencing many sewer spills, large sewer spills, like 10,000 gallon spills, we're going to get a call from the state. And most likely they're going to want to see their SSMP, and if they see they're not implementing a property or if they're missing something, then they might or probably will tell them, okay, no, you're going to have to do this. And so they generally don't get involved unless they really have to. So also we are required to report sewer spills that when minimum of 1 gallon of raw sewage gets into the storm drain, we have to call the state, the California Office of Emergency Services, who then calls the county health department, and then they determine if they need to test the waters to close the beaches. You probably saw the news on July 4th, the sewer spill in Laguna Beach. Okay, that was a classic example, right? They called CalOES, healthcare actually came out, tested the waters, closed the beaches. That's not policy, but that's what happens. This is our SSMP, and if you want to look at it more thoroughly, it is on our website. You just go to the sewer page, and the clear is right there. Sewer system master plan, just download it. It's right there for you to view. Some statistics on the wastewater side: we have 224 miles of pipeline, average age for 37 years, 20 lift stations. So typically you want your wastewater to flow by gravity, but because of topography, sometimes it can't happen. So you gotta push the wastewater over the mountains or hills, and so it's on a pressurized portion we call forking pipes that pushes the water. So we have 20 of those stations. We have over almost 29,000 sewer line connections or 5,000 manholes, and we transmit 8.4 million gallons of wastewater per day. And I'm also proud that we completed $35 million in infrastructure replacement the last 15 years without going to debt. They are doing cash. So that's always been the lead for the board, that if we can do without debt, we will do that. So we've been successful in that endeavor. So our goal for staff is to clean 85% of 224 miles, which 85% is 8-inch pipes. So we want to clean those 8-inch pipes within 12 months. Pipes that are larger, 10, 30 inches, we clean those 18 months. We also want to perform all our preventive maintenance on our pump stations within 12 months. The PMs, that includes, staff will take the pumps out of the wet well, they'll change the oil, they'll lubricate, parts, they'll inspect the impellers, inspect the fuses, inspect or replace the valves, just making sure everything's running smoothly. And then we typically spend about $1 million to $2 million annually in capital improvements. And our goal is to have 0 SSOs 12 months or longer. That's what we strive to get. So, as I mentioned earlier, for a long time, for nearly 50 years, the city was maintaining the sewer system. When we broke away from the city and went to headquarters on 19th Street, we relied on contractors to clean the sewer system. And during whether it was city employees or contractors, you can see we're averaging about 8 sewer spills a year, quite a bit. So, and we believe the reason for that is that they didn't take ownership of the system. They from the city's perspective, they had other higher priority issues they had to deal with. And sewers were unavoidable for them. On the contractor side, they were there to make money. So for them, it's all about speed, right? And so what they do is what we call blow and go. They want to get in and get out, so we go to the next city. And what happens by that is they will have different operators come in the community cleaning, and they might not know certain areas might need special attention because maybe there's a lot of roots in the systems or it's heavy grease. They don't know that because they're always have different operators. So rather than start in 2013, we started bringing the cleaning in-house, and so we acquired these units here. These are called sewer combination cleaning units. Extremely expensive. They're about $700,000 to $800,000 a piece. We have 3 of them right now. So they are operated by 2-person teams, and so their goal again is to clean 85% of the system within 12 months. And then the rest in 18 months. We also brought our pump stations crew in-house as well. We used to contract that as well. And so now we have a 3-man crew, and they go out and inspect the pumps daily and look at the run times. And they also do their annual cleanups. So the last sewer spill we've had was 6 months ago. It was a small one, about 900 gallons. And the cause was grease. And as you can see, grease, along with roots and rags, are the 3 main reasons why we have sewer spills. When I mean rags, those are the disposable wipes. So if you're using those, please don't flush it down the toilets, because they are horrible for sewer systems. So roots, grease, and rags, those are 3 culprits that causes most sewer spills. So we are a collection agency. We don't treat the wastewater. That wastewater is transmitted to the Orange County Sanitation District. Their headquarters in Fountain Valley. They have 2 treatment plants, one in Fountain Valley and one in Huntington Beach. They treat 185 million gallons of wastewater per day for over 2.1 million people in Orange County. Now they are a special district like sanitary district. However, their governing body is appointed. They are appointed by cities that are represent. Cities and special districts represent the sanitary district. There are 20 city representatives, and these are the 20 up here. And then there's 4 special districts. We're one of the special districts, and you can see our logo up there. Vice President Wu is our representative of OC San, and then Secretary Art Perry is as an alternate. What's unique about OC San is their partnership with Orange County Water District. Their partnership with them, they are able to convert 130 million gallons a day of wastewater into drinking water. And they use a very innovative technology of using microfiltration, reverse osmosis, and ultraviolet light with hydrogen peroxide. This allows OCSAN to produce purified water for basically a third of Orange County residents. And so this technology, they get people from all over the world come to check out this technology. It's really phenomenal. And you can go get a tour on the not on the wastewater treatment plant, but also on the groundwater reclamation program. In fact, if you want to go on a tour of OC San, they have one coming up. We just had one yesterday. They have one coming up in September and in November. And if you might know that person, Stacy, so you might be the one giving that tour. So yes, it's free. So you can just go on the website there and you just find more information and log in, and then you can have a tour of the third largest treatment plant in West Mississippi River.
We are the third largest west of the Mississippi River.
Yes.
The largest in California is Hyperion.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
treat about 500 million.
Hyper, that's one in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The largest in the US is in the Detroit area. And then the largest in the world is in Egypt. But the largest in the world that goes from raw sewage to drinking water with no competition is us.
Nice.
Yeah, it's extraordinary technology, so highly recommend it. And this is just, if you wanna go on the groundwater replant project, again, Arcat Water does offer free tours, just visit their website by notification, their tours.
And I would just wanna add, if you know any educators like teachers or schools or your children. That's where those tours are mostly geared for, is for, I think. It's great for high school and college students, they get the most out of it, but yeah, like Scott is saying, we give tours to engineers from other countries that want to, take on some of the projects.
Yeah, it's extraordinary.
All of my kids did that tour school. All four of them. Yeah.
Okay, well, we talked about solid waste now. And just like the wastewater side, this area is heavily regulated as well, but with a different part, Calgary site. And these are some significant laws that were passed, and three of these laws will really impact us the most, and that's AB 939, AB 1594, and SB 1383, we'll talk more in a bit. So statistics on the solid waste side, we contract that out with as you know, our sales trucks in the industry, CIR Environmental Services. They service over 19,000 registered parcels. Of those parcels, 10% are multifamily units. And these are the older multifamilies that were built like in the 50s, 60s, that were like duplexes. The high rises that you see in this picture of the block that are multi-stories tall, those are responsibility of the city. The city's responsible for picking up that trash. But all in all, though, we are responsible for collecting at over 23,000 residential units, and we collect 30,000 tons a year. As I mentioned, City of Costa Mesa is responsible for the business in that large multifamily units. And I'm assuming it's only because when the district was formed, they were really just focused on the residential side. It really wasn't focused on the business side. And so when the city became when Costa became a city, then they started focusing on the business side and just kept it that way ever since. So now I'm going to talk about SB 1383. This is basically a real game changer in the solid waste industry. First of its kind, really in the United States, and that's where you are no longer allowed to dispose your food scraps in trash. It has to go in green waste. And the whole purpose of that is the state is trying to reduce methane gas, or trying to reduce climate change, right? Is green waste and food waste produce a lot of methane. And so they want to reduce that amount of methane by finding alternative source recycling for food waste and food scraps. This was the goal of SB 1383, was to reduce landfill organic waste by 75% last year, and 20% increase in recovery of currently disposed edible food. I don't believe they hit that market yet, and so the target. So we're waiting to see what the state's going to do. But that was their goal, is to hit those numbers. We were well ahead of the ballgame before this SB 13 became a law. SB 1383 became a law in 2016. Cities had till January 1st, 2022 to implement the organic recycling program. The board adopted our organic recycling program in 2014, 2 years before the law was actually passed and adopted. We started rolling out the organic recycling program into 2015, beginning 2016. This is a story that was in the Orange County Register that about the program. So we were the first AC in Southern California to roll out a curbside organic recycling program where we're recycling food waste and green waste. And we take that material to another very innovative technology, anaerobic digestion. This is a privately funded plant. Well, it was mostly privately there. There was some state federal money, but this is a plant that's owned and operated by CRNR out of Paris. And it allows it does currently has 2 digesters in operation. Our goal is to have 4, which I think they're gonna do that real soon. But right now they have two digesters that can handle over 167,000 tons of organics per year, and that includes green waste, bush grass, and cooking grease. And it can generate 2 million gallons of renewable natural gas that is used to fuel their trucks, and can also use the pipe homes to fuel homes. And it creates about 130,000 pounds of fertilizers per year. Now, the reason why we jump off the cliff first, to become the first ones to use this technology, is that we're guaranteed the lowest rate. So this, the 8932, that's what we pay CNR right now. They're charging $100 for everyone else. And we're guaranteed that lowest rate. And if they were able to negotiate someone that beats our rate, then they have to honor that rate. So that's the way we did. So we're guaranteed the lowest rate. Since 2015-16, we have successfully converted over 101,000 tons of organics into renewable natural gas and compost. So most of you are if you have single-family homes, you're familiar with the blue lid carts, the source separation system that we had to implement about a year and a half ago. And again, this is the result of the 1383. Before we implemented the blue lid cart, the way we were disposing our trash is that you had the organics cart already, but then you had the solid waste cart, and that's where you put your recyclables in that cart, right? So it's called a mixed waste system. And then CNR would take that mixed waste to their transportation stand, they pick out the recyclables out of the trash, separate the recyclables, bail it, ship it off to the markets, right? That was the old way how we did it. The only way we could still use that material recovery facility is if it was considered certified as high diversion facility. And for CNR to become a high diversion facility, it would cost just way too much money. They didn't want to spend that kind of money. So we had to go to the alternative, and that was the source separation, which is basically the industry standard in California. Most other cities, all other cities have this form where you separate your green waste and blue scraps in the green waste, recyclables go in the blue lid, and then trash goes into the black lid. Unfortunately, it has challenges for this. I mean, the rollout was successful. Didn't get a lot of, we were advertising, promoting for over a year. So the blue lid carts that arrived, didn't get a lot of phone calls, but it's still a change in people's behavior, and that's the challenge we're facing right now. The old way, the mixed waste system, we were diverting 61% trash away from landfill, right? And so we're complying with 8939. Now we're going to create 3%, so we're not in compliance. And so there's that challenge we're facing right now is changing people's behavior to recycle in the right parts. We also have the issue with contamination, meaning some people will put their organics in the trash carts, or maybe they'll put the recyclables in the organic carts, right? It's contamination for putting them in the wrong parts. Our goal is to get less than, originally it was less than 25%. The solid waste additive committee, our board solid waste additive committee is recommending 15%. And we'll talk a little bit how we're going to address that if people are over that goal of 15%. We do have some great programs on the solid waste side. The Sustainably Starved, we'll be starting that program up again. That's a program where we recognize someone who's doing a really exceptional job of recycling. We'll give them a gift card and notify them in the newspaper, getting us people will recognize who they are. If you haven't participated or if you heard about it, we had a really successful compost giveaway and paper shredding event a few weeks ago. The compost event had over 900 vehicles. We successfully gave out 1,680 bags of composting, which is about 50,400 pounds. And we also shredded 15,000 pounds of paper. Very successful event. We have our Christmas tree event every year. Last year we collected over 5,400 trees. Large items, it's a very successful, very popular event where you can, if you have a large like a couch or a refrigerator or a table or chairs that can't fit into the cart, you can put that, you can schedule CNR to come pick those items up. Last year we had 7,300 pickups, over 600 tons of items collected. And then on the far right corner is a great program. If you don't know about how you recommend to your hand, it's our, we call it a door-to-door household housing waste program. So if you have old paints or old cleaning materials, old landscape material, whatever pesticides that you can't go to the landfill, you call CRNR and they'll come pick it up for you. right, which is great. Most like, well, I live in Orange, so I got to roll in and I drop my stuff and have some kind of like work pick up. It's a great program. Last year, we had 1,200 pickups of household hazard waste collection, which is great. So next, I want to share with you a brand new program. I hope you will take advantage of this. We always get questions, where to dispose their material, if we recycle or not. We get questions, well, where do I put my pool paper? So what about possible sticks? Well, this will answer your question. So in fact, if you want, I'll show you how it works. And if you want, you can tell me an item. Basically what it does is, so if you don't have, so if there's something you don't know that what card it goes in, you type in that material and it'll tell you what card to place it in. The app also reminds you what day trash is. Also reminds you holidays, so when there are holidays. So they're in your bag, there's a QR code, you can download the app, or you can just go on our website here, it's on the trash recycling page, and you go into what goes where. Okay, so who wants to tell me, who wants to say anything, what do you think was any problems? Name something. Yeah,
Tetra Pak,
what?
Tetra Pak, what your oatmeal might come in, those milk cartons. Okay, try that then.
There it is. It's on there. Yeah.
Tetra Pak.
Curtains. There you go.
Landfill, for those in the land, it says it goes in the landfill. Okay, so, anyone else have a suggestion?
A to-go container from a restaurant. We have paper and food.
You know what's made of, or is it styrofoam?
Like a paper clamshell.
Paper, but it's coated with some type of resin.
Loaded paper.
Oh, it's styrofoam containers. Also called.
Wax
Coated
papers.
paper, like.
Coated paper. There you go.
Here, this one's so big.
Oh, Scott. Oh, Scott, I have it up on the screen for you.
Oh.
Being sneaky over here.
Okay, what else? Anything else?
Contrast.
There you go.
Okay, how about popsicle sticks?
That is a good one.
Popsicle sticks.
Oops. Oops. There you go.
What do you have?
Organic. Oh, toothpicks too.
So anything else? Let's find out. So it's a great tool. If you're not sure, again, you go on the website or you go on the QR code and download the app.
Was that advertised or put in the newsletter recently? I was seeing that.
It's actually on the front page of our summer newsletter.
Yeah.
It should come out next week. Yeah.
Okay. It's awesome. Can you go back to?
Yes.
Right. And just FYI, if you want to the landfill, that's also available. This is the County of Orange website. You can schedule a landfill tour. It's actually quite innovative as well. What they're doing to keep the landfills sustainable. Okay. All right, so we're gonna talk about revenues and how we generate revenue. So 90%, 92% of our revenue comes from annual charges or assessments. Basically, that is on your property tax roll. So you get this is a copy of sample property tax roll, and you'll see your line items for trash and sanitary. That's what we call charges or assessments. That's how we generate revenues. The board is the one that approves those rates, and it's on your tax bill. You probably recently had a Prop 218 notice in the mail about your solid waste trash rate. We did have to increase the trash rate due to landfill, increase in cost. This is a recent survey of all the, you can see that all the rates, in Orange County. And our rate, the new rate is slightly above the average, not too far, about $1.50 off. I think once Irvine adopts their new rates, will be closer to, the average solid waste rate in the county. For, the sewer side. And this is on, agencies that are members of OC Sand. We are below, the average, rate sewer rates in, Orange County, cities or the districts that are in the, OC Sand membership. I do want to let you know though, that rate will most likely go up. That's something we'll have you look at. We're gonna be doing a sewer rate study and we'll have, you, see us and review that study and make some recommendations, but, that rate has been stabilized for the last 3 years. We haven't increased our rates in the last 3 years. And so, of course, we have increased costs. And so we're looking at increasing our sewer rate as well. Real quick about your plan. The 5-year plan, where we're going for the future. This is our mission statement to protect public health, the environment for current and future generations, and there's a vision. Leading a community that is free from solid waste and wastewater pollution and our just cause. And we call that our just cause, like why do we get up in the morning, get up, do what we do. Our goal is to keep our water environment pollution free. These are just our core value elements, which we have goals tied to each elements. If you want to download our issue plan, you can find it here on our website. It's under who we are, and you can download our issue plan there. These are just some of our recognitions that we received in the past years. Off the Triple Crown is one of the ones I'm most proud of. And that's some that not very many public agencies achieve. You achieve a certificate of excellence for your audit, which require CAFR, your ACRI, your annual comprehensive financial report, your budget, and then your CAFR, your public annual benefit report, which not very many agencies are able to achieve that. The GLPA stands for the Government Finance Office Association. It's a national organization that recognizes public agencies throughout the United States. Okay. Looking ahead. These are some of the topics that I'll be sharing with Chair Doe and President Schaefer on a work plan. But they'll be inspiring to see these items on that work plan. The non-compliant card tagging, that's what I was talking about earlier. If we're seeing contamination that's more than 15%, we're gonna start tagging the cards, giving people warning and possibly finding them. Might be finding people for doing that, because really the best way to change with the fingers in the pocketbook. That's charged up. Still gonna bring that forward to the board, get our buses from them, and then also get their comment as well. Sewer ladder programs, it's a new program that I learned from an agency up in Northern California that as you know, when you buy a new home, right, you do home inspections. How many inspect your sewers? Okay. Yeah, not many people do, right? And so it's a new program to try to encourage new homeowners and buyers and sellers to inspect the sewer ladder before escrow closes. So we were doing that before we're going to get your comments as well. Eco Expo is coming up, it's a huge event. We've always had CAC members participate in that event. We'd love to have you participate in that event again. It's a great event. It's October, I think it's in October.
September 3rd.
But we have it right here, where our people meet with the public health and learn about sustainability activities. It's a lot of fun. So I won't go to all everything else, but these are just some of the items that you'll probably work on this year. Okay. So lastly, I'd like to talk about our special districts. So most of you probably don't know, special districts are the largest form of local government in the United States. If you look, United States wise, there's almost double special districts in the United States versus cities. Okay, and if you look at California, even more. Right, 2,300 special districts versus cities, and special districts. They are a local form of government. We have a lot of state laws. We have to apply to some cities. But what makes us special is that we are focused on one or two niche services. For us, it's wastewater and solid waste. Others, it could be transit. It could be fire protection districts. It could be a hospital. It could be a cemetery. there are tons of different special districts, not only in California, but nationally. We all belong to, or at least most of us belong to the California Special District Association. They are a member that advocates on special district behalf in Sacramento. So if there are bills being proposed and we think that could have impact on districts and our communities, CSD will be our voice and try to either kill the bill or amend it. They also draft bills that are in favor of the district, and they also provide training for us and also help us in our network. So these are just some of the special districts in California. Like as I mentioned, there's airport districts, there's harbor districts, there's parks and rec districts, library districts. I mean, there's any kind of public service there is, right? If you're wondering what's the most common special district in California, they're called community service districts, and these are probably the closest district to a city that you have. These community service districts, they have the powers to provide police and fire services, wastewater, water collections, parks and recs. The only thing they can't do, this is what really sets us apart from cities, is land use powers. Cities have the land use powers, planning commissions. Districts don't have that. That's the big difference. So community services doesn't have those land use powers. Water and fire district, as you know, everyone probably thinks fire departments are cities. No, a lot of fire districts, there's just fire districts here in California, and in San Diego, there are 68. So probably what about Orange County? There are 28 special districts in Orange County. Okay, over half of them, let's say 18 of them are in the water and wastewater business. But there are a few community service districts, there's two library districts, one park district, but most are the water, wastewater districts. All right, so let me tell you about the National Special Association. This is a relatively new organization, and it was formed where they have a voice in the federal government in Washington D.C. Right now, the agency it consists of 17 associations. It originally started with just Washington, Oregon, California, Texas, and now you see everything in blue. Those are now members of the association. And again, the primary goal is to have a voice in Washington D.C. And what we're working on right now is getting the support to adopt HR 2766. And what this does, it recognizes special districts as a local government entity and defines them as a local government entity and codify that. Right now, special district cannot receive federal funding because they don't recognize it as local government. So that big beautiful bill that the Biden administration passed a couple years ago, special districts couldn't get anything, all with cities and counties, because they didn't recognize special districts as a local government. During COVID, when all that COVID relief came to the federal government. The only reason why we, especially in California, got the money is because we yelled very loud in Sacramento, saying, "Hey, look, you know, yes, we're not organized as federal government, but we are local government. We are entitled to that money." And so, Governor Newsom allocated I think $1 billion to special districts. This is a bipartisan bill, has total support in both the Republicans and Democratic side. It passed easily in the House. Last year, it died in the Senate because of one senator, Rand Paul, he killed it. I don't know why he doesn't like special districts. But they're trying to work for the staff policy. And this year, as you see on this slide here, over almost 20,000 special districts supported this bill. That includes us. We're on that list as well. So fingers crossed, hopefully that bill will pass one day. And that is it. So welcome to Costa Mesa San Diego. We're really looking forward to working with you, collaborating with you on our programs and policy. We're great here. So happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you, Chief Carroll. Any questions from committee members on that presentation? No. Lots of things to digest and things to download later on to take a look through as well. But go ahead.
No, I mean, lots of places on the website to download, but we got a copy of that information just in case.
Sure, I'll have our district clerk set it up.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Got one slide said the sewer rate of like $9 or something per square foot, or
That was just residential. So we have a couple of, I just started So it's just, single announcements, that's that rate, so remote per year. That's month, that's a month, yeah, so it's like $100, a little $100 a year. Yeah, but remote weekends is a different rate, for, commercial, especially businesses that have, a restaurant. We charge a little bit different, then the industry, we charge a little different too as well.
And then SSO stands for,
Sanitary sewer overflow, sewer spills.
All right, thank you very much, appreciate the presentation. Now we'll transition to our closing items. This is the time where in all of our agendas, committee members can make any general comments, requests, any questions on maybe some non-agenda items, anything you want clarified. So we'll just usually go around, and if anybody has anything, ask it. If we don't, we'll just go to the next person until we move on. So any questions, any comments?
I guess just going back to the very beginning of the presentation and talking about the with the working document. or
Yes.
something. So is that something that we will work on together, or that's just the chair and vice chair put together?
The chair is myself and the president will create that plan. We will give it to you to comment if you don't like it, or yes, you can, that's your opportunity to remove it or ask the council to the plan, but. Yes, most of the work will be done by the three of us.
Okay.
No problems.
Thank you for all the information on the tours that are available throughout, the CW tour and those fans. Is there anything with the recycling facility that gets toured?
Yeah, we can, if you're interested, they don't open to the public, they go through us, so I'll talk to CRR, and if you're interested, we'll see how many you're interested, we can take you to others, so.
it was set up where the city does large businesses or small businesses and large family. Has it been considered that CMSD would take on that, so the city doesn't have to handle that?
On the trash side?
Yeah.
Yeah, we, I'd say about maybe 6 years ago, we did submit a proposal to the city to go with multi-family units, but the city rejected the proposal. So they said we can't come back later, but it's possible. We did have a discussion in the past.
So even though we might be doing well with certain types of recycling, maybe not.
Correct. Yeah, they probably don't have the resources to address all the multiple units.
I just recently learned that in the organic waste, compostable bag, they're so easy to to put it in there so it doesn't smell.
Yeah.
But I heard that's not wanted because it ruins the equipment or something.
It's okay, we've always, when, before we rolled out the organic side department, we had many town hall meetings around the community. We always told public that you can use the compost bags, and when CNR did tell us that, we said, well, we're not changing that message, right? That's what we told the public, we're not changing it, and so they accept it. So I think what they do is, you can still do that, I think what they do is, I don't know what jobs I want, but they actually have to empty it out of the bag, and then at the traffic station, then they take it out to the agency, but we still encourage, if you don't want to deal with the smells, but I would plan on just put it in the composting bags.
Malcolm, thank you very much for selecting me as your chair this year, or this current coming year, appreciate that very much, so thank you. My ask, piggybacking on the presentation, if there's any other documents, particularly for the new board members that need to be circulated to them, handbook, any other items, please attach that to everybody, just as a reminder, we have it in our phones, if we ever need to refer to it in our meetings. Please send that to us, appreciate that. And that is it for me. Next items are board members, board president, and board members. Any comments?
I never not take the opportunity to talk. I think I'm pretty sure I speak on behalf of the entire board to thank all of you, and express our gratitude for you taking the time to do this. If you're familiar at all, we've had a little bit of a rocky road with the CDC over the last couple of months. And we decided to change the format to where you're appointed by division. You guys are the eyes and the ears outside that we don't see. Whether it come from your kids at school or your neighbor who can't understand palm fronds. I still think they ought to go with your organics, but I'm just saying. By the way, my name is Mike Schaefer, I'm the board president. I've been a resident of Costa Mesa since 1958. My dad moved us from Laguna Beach, damn it, why he knows from Laguna Beach. I think Barb Perry's the only one who's been here longer than me. But again, thank you for the time. Scott had mentioned earlier in his presentation that the beach are meetings, and we hope you do come to the meetings. We look forward to working with all of you. If you have questions, it's easy to get to us. If you need to ask the board a question, heck, you can come to a board meeting and ask us a question. But again, I can't tell you how much we appreciate and want to show you the support that we as a board of directors should do. So thank you. We look forward to a very productive year, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, President Schaefer. Any other members? Staff? Any comments? All right, our next meeting is. Can't remember.
Second Wednesday.
Very good. And are we gonna get, can we send calendar invites to the CEC members? Maybe we can send those calendar invites, because they're always helpful, so we can just populate from our phone, whatever app we're using. Appreciate that.
Yes, we'll do that. The next meeting is September 9th.
Very good. One last question.
Yeah, sure, no, if you, and the board meets twice a month or more as needed, or ad hoc committee, would you encourage us to attend those meetings, or is that just extra?
I would encourage you if you have the time to attend the meetings, and if you don't have the time, at least obviously one meeting, but if you don't have the time, these are posted on the YouTube page as well. That's where I'm watching it sometimes live in the office, or going back to it if I have a meeting, just to catch up on what the board is discussing on the issue. Some of it is relevant to my day-to-day job too, so I'm always informed by what they're talking about, what they're discussing. So you can either attend the meeting when you can, at least once, or go back and watch those meetings as well, especially if there's an item that we're discussing and making any recommendations as a group collectively to them, and you want to watch or hear the outcome of those discussions, so we're informed for the next meeting as well. Thank you. All right. We are adjourned at 7:11. Thank you, sir.
We